Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Guild Wars 1 Let's Play. Last episode, we made our way to Tanaki Temple in order to commune with some spirits and get some advice on how to deal with Shiro. We're down here in below the squares, I'm sorry, but I just love how these are supposed to be like slums over us, but I just love how they're perfect squares. Yo, imagine you lived up there and just one day you just fall through your floorboards and just splat. Like, I get this trope and stuff, but it's like, imagine like actually unironically if this was real and there were like literally streets that were separated only by like rotting boards from a 70-foot drop into a holy place that people knew existed actually. But anyway. For centuries, Tanaki temples housed the souls of Kantha's most revered heroes. The bravest and most accomplished member of each profession rests here, tended by the priests of the Shiling Order. Ornate statues line the great hall, each a stunning likeness of the hero it represents. These magnificent effigies, sculpted by the Kurzik artisans, are enchanted with protective magic that guards the temples and inhabitants from harm. Alright, let's go on in. Back to the temple. So essentially, before we came here, what happened was that Shiro started binding spirits to his will, as he does, because he's trying to, I don't know, take over the world, or generic evil villain plot number 3. So we've got to get through this temple. So each of these rooms basically will have the bound hero. So the hero is this Shirokin looking thing. So the Shirokin are just the name of the spirit that Shiro makes. Oh, and also very importantly, you have to make sure Togo and what's his face go back then. But yeah, basically he's been going through and binding these various different people to his will. We're all different professions. So like that was the Mesmer boss, so she's a Mesmer. They have little pedestals that tell you here. 300 years ago, when the thriving Kanthan port of Dinfang was invaded by the people known only as the Nithian or pirates, the Kanthan army sent a small force stationed at nearby Fort Fu to put down what they saw as nothing more than a pack of rabid dogs. When a young Kita arrived with their troops, she discovered that an organized invasion was underway, led by the Nethalalian Admiral Apollonia. Severely outnumbered and outgunned, the Mesmer created a crowd of illusions that made her squadron appear to double in size, then redouble again until her forces appeared a great army. As she ordered the charge, the Nathians scattered in terror, many running into the sea and drowning themselves. In the midst of the chaos, Kita found Apothea, a warrior, and the two fought until both fell down dead on the battlefield. Dinfang was ultimately saved, and Kita inducted into Tanaki Temple. I'm gonna try to read all of them as I go through. So what looks up next is a ranger. Is a ranger. Weirdly enough, though, I don't think they actually. So I believe there's different models for the different kinds of Shirokin, but it seems like they only use the assassin model for all of them here. I could be wrong here, but I could have sworn the different Shirokin actually have different models. These don't. Get that. This. Rash and impulsive in his youth, Naku was a known criminal in his home village in eastern Kantha. When the Tengu Wars began, Naku joined the Kanthan army as an effort to protect his family and his shady business interests. Years of war gave him a new perspective on the nature of life and death, and eventually Naku became a respected general. Using his now considerable necromancer powers against the Tengu who resisted Kanthan rule. When Kitamu, the village of his birth, was destroyed. Not could return home and raise a vast army of millions from the corpses of his relatives and childhood playmates and sacrifice his life to drive them directly into the enemy. This action shattered the enemy lines and pushed the Tengu back far enough that the Captain Army was able to overcome them. Yeah, because nothing says great hero like raising all your dead family and sending them into the enemy. I don't know. Stereotypical necromancer slander. But no, serious, doesn't sound like much of a hero. Alright, I'm just gonna take a guess here though. Since all the other ones have died, I'm gonna take a guess and just say all of these heroes will have killed themselves doing whatever action made them a hero, which is, I don't know. I kinda don't like that trope. It's like, yeah, that's a valiant sacrifice, but you're kind of not useful if you're dead. Like, if you're alive, you can get more uses out of it. But I actually think that's kind of interesting that it's like, oh, what he did is not really seen as like something horrendous as it would be in most forms of fiction. Like necromancers are typically kind of looked down on for, you know, raising the dead and stuff. Again, there are different models for the different Shirokin, but this is still also just an assassin model for this elementalist. Oh, so basically every time we release one of them, they essentially say thank you and run away. 100 years ago, a demon came to Cantha. He was called Meng, and he found himself flesh after a foolish young necromancer named Judo attempted a forbidden ritual and succeed against the odds. For years, Meng terrorized the countryside. Despite the best efforts of Cantha's premier mages to outsmart him. One winter day, Tinai, a bold young student, approached her headmaster with a plan. The next day, Tinai herself lured Meng to the shore of the Great Lake. The surface of which was frozen solid. She walked out into the ice, and Meng followed, eventually reaching the center, while Tinai continued to the other shore. As he did, Tinai raised her hand, and fire rained down upon Meng, melting the ice beneath him. He plunged in the icy lake, and Tinai shrieked to command. The lake froze solid around Meng's thrashing form, and he was trapped. Now lightning and boulders finished the job. Only Tinai had known how to begin, and Meng returned to the underworld. Tinai, after a long successful life as an elementalist, was enscorned in Tanakai Temple. Okay, she didn't actually die. I was wrong. They're not gonna... All of them are not gonna unironically kill themselves in some way in an act of heroism. Good job, Gabe. It would get a little boring if literally all of them said, and then they died. We might have overfilled it. And by might have, I mean we probably overfilled. I don't know what this energy bug is, though, because it keeps saying that we don't have energy when we do have energy. Like, I have 20 energy. I have enough to cast the spell. The spell costs 10. Weird. Yeah, keep saying not enough energy, not enough energy. So I expect to have more than enough energy. Anyway, let's read this one. Cry was a powerful healer who lived 700 years ago. For most of his life, he tended a small village in northern Cantha, curing ills and setting broken bones, refusing pay and accepting only food and basic supplies from the community. One day, a wealthy Cantha noble and his small entourage passed through Cry's village and were attacked by bandits in the nearby woods. The noble suffered grievous wounds, and after killing the bandits, his guards brought him to Karai, who healed him easily. When the wealthy man attempted to pay him in gold, the monk refused. Next, the noble offered Kanai employment at his lavish estate. Again, the monk refused. Finally, the noble offered to give the monk great powers that make him a god among men. But Karai would not be moved. Smiling noble stood and let his cloak fly. As he did, he transformed into a beautiful woman. The goddess Duena herself stood before Karai, placed a hand upon his head. Thrice have I tempted you, and thrice you have resisted. I choose you. Called by his goddess, Kurai could not refuse his new appointment as master of the Kaizen Monastery, where he lived out his days trading young monks and handling any sick or broken who came in his way. Upon his death, Duena herself inducted him into Tanakai. Interesting. So Duena was here, and she personally put him in the temple. That's interesting. Or inducted him into the temple. That's interesting. Also, like, come on. That's such a stereotypical trope, but if a wealthy person's offering you a lot of money, you can be altruistic and take it. Like, you can take the money and use it to help the village or something. Or, like, you know, feed yourself. Or, you know, build yourself a nice little house or something. Like, you don't have to be completely anti any niceties to be a good guy. Or to have a pure heart. You just have to not be tempted by money. But if you've done a service, you're allowed to take a reward for your service. 100 damage. Whew. Those quick elementalists came to play. Alright, let's read this one. Oof. Jizahu was an exceptionally tall and very strong young warrior who lived over 300 years ago. Orphaned at birth and self-drained, Jizahu traveled Kantha and single-handedly defeated bands of monsters that threatened villages all over the countryside. When the Emperor invited her to visit him in the Forbidden City so that he could reward her, she arrived days late, having stopped to defend an orphanage from a scale invasion. Standing before the Emperor's throne, she refused his proffered reward and instead offered her sword and her life in exchange for the insult of tardiness. What? The bemused Emperor refused her offer, and Jizahu continued to defend the weak until her death 5 years later, by which time the legend numbered her kills in the tens of thousands. The Emperor himself petitioned the Oracle to give her a place in Tanakai Temple, and so it was. So she was like, yeah, sorry I'm late, you can kill me. I don't know, that'll sound like a hero to me. Say, a hero don't care about authority, they gonna do the right thing anyway. Yeah, no. Also, 5 years later, come on. Everybody. She didn't exactly sacrifice herself and die for her action, but you know, man, what can hero live? Shit, all the other ones led long and fruitful lives. I bet she must not have been good enough at fighting if she didn't last that long. You're real bad real quick. Okay, we are actually unironically getting wiped a little bit. This is the Ranger. This green is the Ranger. So RPG looking like pretty high. Sure brought some items to clear GP. Whatever. "500 years ago, Kenthan forests began one by one to shrivel and turn back. All life within them sucked dry. Zojin, a legendary ranger, even then sought to discover the cause of the forest destruction, and eventually discovered that an evil wizard, Magrador, was sucking life from Kenthan's forest and converting it into magical energy, which he planned to use to power a great magical war against the Canthan Emperor. Zojin called upon his fellow rangers, and together they swept through Cantha's remaining forests, charming every beast of any size that crossed their path. Legends tell of the great bestial army that thundered across the land and grew in size till every creature in Cantha joined its ranks. When the Rangers and their allies arrived at the entrance to Magrador's lair, the sheer weight of their numbers collapsed the earth, and he was crushed beneath them. The life he had stolen rose up out of the ground and returned to the forest, which instantly flourished once again. Could you just imagine? You're like, you bringing up this big army, you bringing all the boys together, all the pets together, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna go beat this bad guy. Let's do it, guys. And you get there, and the sheer freaking thickness of you kills him before you actually get a chance to fight him. I don't know. That's just, I find that amusing. Uh-oh. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Are you kidding me? Holy heck. They are actually getting blasted. Okay, in all seriousness, what the heck? I'm gonna have to change up some builds, probably. Okay, this was the Ritualist boss, so let's see here. When the gods walked to Tyria 1,000 years ago, the Ritualist Kanai, an old man even then, challenged Balthasar to a game of Mui in exchange for sparing a village that offended the god through some long-forgotten breach of etiquette. Balthasar laughed and accepted, and the game began. 7 days later, it ended with Kanai the winner. The villages were spared, but in a fit of anger, Balthasar slew Kanai. Afterward, in a rare gesture of sportsmanship, the god ordered Kanai inducted into the temple. That has got to be the lamest story ever. He beat Balthasar in a fight, and then Balthasar threw a temper tantrum, killed him, and then he got inducted into the temple later. That's such a lame. Alright, let's go this way. So we have to fight these things in the middle. But I will be trying to not kill myself this time. Yeah, I think we might need one more person with some defensive options, so I might put some prot skills on one of the monks. I'm gonna try to pull them back in a couple of groups just so I don't face plant them and die. I wouldn't want to wipe at this point in the mission. Especially since there are so many in that center there. Does it really only gotta come one by one? Come on. Is every one of these in their own group? Are you kidding me? None of these are a pack? They're all their own separate group. Couple. There we go. Alright. This should be good. After we finish these, we should just be able to get in there. Actually, I might just be able to bow Vizu out. Yep. Okay, good. Oh, come on. Oh, I see the problem. I don't have weakness on this team. Oh. Oh, I see. I have seen the problem. I think we have to clear out this center area. Yeah, sadly, I won't really have time to read that one. But I did kind of scroll through it there if you want to pause and look at it. But we saved the temple.
Though I knew someday Shiro would return, I wish secretly this day would never come.
I don't think you need to secretly wish that something bad would never happen.
I recognize you. The Emperor has spoken to me of his half-brother, the man known as Master Togo. Tell me what you desire. If it's within my power, you shall have it.
200 years ago, on the day of the Jade Wind, you bested Shiro. We have come to you to learn how to do the same.
Yes, it was my blade that finally turned the tide of battle on that day. But it was not me who struck the final blow. If you wish to destroy Shiro, you must find the Luxon champion Archimedes and the Kurzik hero Victor, the two men who struck him down all those years ago.
Where do we find them?
The Luxons honor their great champion by keeping his spirit in a powerful spear, which passes between the clans. The Kurziks guard the urn of their hero with a vigorous zeal. Seek out these two artifacts, for if you have them both, the spirits inside can show you how to defeat Shiro.
Thank you, Vizu. It has been my honor to talk with you. I wish our visit could have been longer.
Do not worry on such things, Togo. There will be plenty of time for us to talk once Shiro has been defeated. You can count on that.
Dun dun dun! I don't know if that's supposed to be foreboding. This is a weird line. I always thought that was weird as a kid. Well, some more Shiro fortune teller backstory.
You have returned. Good, good. Sit. I shall tell you your future. The Emperor has his eye on you.
Me? Why would the Emperor be watching me?
Your good work has not gone unnoticed. He thinks you are trustworthy and brave.
But what does it mean? Why is he watching?
You, Shiro, will be rewarded for your service. You shall be singled out for something very important.
When?
Soon. Very soon.
Interesting.
You have served me well, warrior.
Thank you, my Emperor.
A man of your considerable fighting prowess should play a more important role in the Canthan Empire, don't you think?
My man's mouth clipping through his...
Why should your talents be spent defending the merchants from bandit raids, when they could be put to a better use?
I do not fully understand.
Rise, Shiro Tagachi, and take your place beside me as my personal bodyguard.
Damn, my man's swole. Alright. That's going to be the end of that episode. I want to thank you for coming out. We're here on we end in Zuhonuku Corridor after going through the temple. There's some cool things about this outpost that we'll probably show off in the beginning of the next episode. But that'll be all for today. I want to thank you for coming out. I hope you have a great day. I will see you in the next one.